baby, let me tell you something. My name is Rich Swan. And let me tell you what all the cool kids are doing. They're tuning in to Idol Threat Wrestling Podcast. And I think everybody should give it a listen.
Gentlemen, it worked like a champ. The rest is up to you. Some people think that wrestling's fake, but I know wrestling's true. What's the deal? Would you squeal if I told you that wrestling's real? What's the deal? Would you squeal if I told you that wrestling's real? Each wrestler does his thing to win inside the ring.
Welcome to another episode of What's in the Box right here on the Idol Threat Wrestling Podcast Network. Your host, the Idol-tola of rock and rolla, Mr. Joey Idol. Second episode of this unboxing on the Idol Threat Wrestling Podcast, and been really into collecting tapes again lately, like religiously. I got like 50 horror movies the other night, but wrestling is still my main concern when it comes to taping. So we've decided kind of here on the Idol Threat Wrestling Podcast to document our hunts, when we go out and look for tapes, if I set up something at somebody's house to find more tapes, look around, explore the whole, did somebody say adventure? We're gonna take you on adventures of us, me and Mike Holmes. He'll be here too. He's got a great wrestling collection. I've already contacted him about doing an episode showcasing his collection. I've only seen pictures of it, and I want to go check it out. So Mike, I know you're watching, and we're going to do that. We're going to go into detail on my collection. We'll have discussions about wrestling tapes, and it's not going to be the only thing the Idol Threat Wrestling Podcast is going to do. We will get back to the regular format show eventually, but I'm really fired up about the hunt of collecting tapes again. Been kind of laying low, not doing a lot besides working, so I decided to pick up this hobby again of taping, which I have a couple thousand tapes. Love taping. Horror movies are always my thing, but I always collected wrestling tapes too, obviously, because I love wrestling, and tapes were a big part of when I was a kid. There was no WWE Network, there was no internet. There was the internet, but you couldn't just watch whatever you want, so you'd have to go to your favorite movie store and rent these tapes. And now they're kind of caught on that some of them are worth a little bit of money, but at one point you could basically find these when the movie stores are selling out their surplus. You could pick up wrestling tapes real cheap and kind of build your own network right in your house. So that's what I'm doing. I got 150 or so wrestling tapes, and I want to get lots. I've been trading off horror tapes for them. I've been arranging deals. I got a whole bunch coming over and over and over. You're gonna see I'm a master of tapes. I'm trying to do it. I'm not into eBay and paying like eBay prices for tapes. So what I'm doing is I'm digging grassroots, the old style, the old way we used to do it. You put it out on the internet or something and say, hey, I'm looking for wrestling tapes. See what you come up with. It's more fun that way, doing it as cheap as you can, and also I have lots of horror movies and doubles of wrestling movies that I look to trade with these guys online, like VHS Collectors Canada is a great site that I've used so far. Haven't got into any really wrestling ones yet, and shipping from the States is a bitch, so I like to try to keep it Canadian. And again, like I said, the grassroots of getting out there, going to thrift stores, and me and Mike, we want to take you on these adventures, but enough of what's coming. Let's get to the now. I got a package here the other day from Sean L, we will say, and I got some really extreme stuff in this box, and I want to show y'all what's in the box. So,
what's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
Sean did a great job packing from what I could see. Thanks a lot. I sent him some cool tapes, some Hulkamania tapes, because I'm not the biggest Hulkster brother. But
I love him like a
what
brother.
he sent me is something that is right up my alley, and I'm sure you'll see as the show goes on how much I really huge ECW fan. So I got ECW Extreme Evolution, which is a classic tape that we used to trade around for people that weren't exposed. My buddy had it, who weren't exposed to ECW, and this was really, I always thought, a great way of showing off what ECW was all about to people who hadn't seen it or they just saw a little bit, because you got Jerry Lynn versus Rob Van Dam. That's the all-time greatest feud by many in ECW history. So the matches there, you know, just amazing. That was one you wanted to show that ECW wasn't just blood and guts. Then like Mike Awesome versus Masada Tanaka, once they started bringing in guys from FMW, and Awesome ran amok on the ECW. He was an awesome champion, no pun intended. Loved Mike Awesome. The Dudley Boys versus Spike and Balls, like that's classic tag team stuff right there. And Sabu and Taz, really, you couldn't, if you said sum up ECW in one, 2 hours tape or so showing people, this is honestly the one to show people. So I'm really happy to have Extreme Evolution in my collection for the first time. ECW Deep Impact, another compilation video with stuff like Mikey Whipwreck versus the Sandman versus Steve Austin. Like, huge stuff on this one. This one is a little bit more of a throwback to like older stuff. Well, no, not necessarily, because you got Masada Tanaka and Jerry Lynn versus Mike Awesome, Just Incredible in 1998. Terry Funk versus Sabu with the barbed wire, like another one. Good one to show people, hey, this is what ECW was. Hardcore history. I think this was the one I was thinking of that's a little bit more from the back in the day ECW. That, I know a lot of people became ECW fans obviously after it closed, and I think a lot of people are most familiar with maybe like 97 to 99, that period, even to 2000. But like, you got to go back and look at some of the stuff that they used to have, like Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko versus Sabu and Taz. That's all the way back in February 1995. Like the older stuff, that's where you're gonna see Cactus Jack, Terry Funk, early Sandman stuff, Too Cold Scorpio. If you've never seen Too Cold Scorpio matches, which I'm sure you have if you're watching the show and you're a friend of mine, but if you never have, Too Cold Scorpio back then in the 90s, so innovative. Check that guy out. He's actually not on this tape, so this would be a bad example, but it's got Rey Mysterio and Juventud Guerrero on there. I know a lot of people probably don't even know that those guys were in ECW, and they were great when they were in ECW. So ECW Hardcore History, that's a great tape to check out, and I'm really glad to have it. And then the last but not least, cool one because it's a full pay-per-view. I guess it wasn't like a pay-per-view, but ECW every year used to do Cyber Slam 99, which is a big event for all the online, so it predates like the online pay-per-views. So in a way it is a pay-per-view, but it really isn't. But you got matches, Jerry Lynn versus Tajiri, that's right there alone, it's worth checking out. Shane Douglas versus Just Incredible, Taz versus Chris Candido, my man, one of my favorite ECW guys of all time. It's got the whole crew. What did you expect from ECW in 1999? New Jack, Too Cold Scorpios on this one, Rob Van Dam. I think this was the event that they brought Too Cold, that went to WWE and done the Job Squad and the Flash Funk thing, and he came back. I think this may have been like a one-off or maybe 2 times, but it's against Rob Van Dam, so I can't wait to check that one out. All around, this pay-per-view looks great. Sean L., thanks a lot. I'm sure we'll do business again. I hope you enjoyed the WCW cards and the pins I sent in as a bonus. So that's what the Idle Threat Wrestling Podcast is going to be, this segment anyways, not the whole show, not the whole network, but we're definitely VHSing, big part of my life. I want to showcase my collection, Mike's collection, other people's collections. Maybe we go on, like, you think of Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, what they do with Figure It Out and their own podcast. Maybe we're going to be, me and Mike are going to be the major VHS podcast, but not the major. We'll be the Idle Threat VHS podcast, obviously. So if you like these videos, please subscribe, click like, let us know. You want your collection showcase, they send me a picture. You want to make trades, check me out. Idle Threat Podcast at gmail.com. Send me what you got. And I mean, I don't have doubles of this stuff, but if it's something I really want, I'm always willing to make a trade. And just like, you know, the $1 Million Man once said, everybody's got a price. Everything's got a price, man. Something you like, something that's going to help me out, getting something else I want, let's do it. Let's network this. Let's make this a thing. Like, let's trade tapes, people. The Idle Threat Wrestling Podcast wants your tapes. Mike collects too. You'll hear from him soon. Keep watching, like and subscribe, and yeah, stay snapped into your Slim Jims, people.